Hey everyone. You ever hear those big words like economic growth or sustainability, and your brain just kind of shuts off? Well, today, we're going to make it all make sense. And we're going to do it by talking about something we can all get our heads around, a road trip. Let's map out a smarter future together.
So, picture this. You're planning the ultimate road trip. You've got the perfect playlist, the car is full of snacks, and you're headed somewhere amazing. This isn't just a fun little fantasy, though. This journey is actually the perfect way to understand the huge decisions we all face, from the stuff we buy every day to the future of our entire planet.
Okay, so every great road trip needs a toolkit, right? First, you need a solid car that can actually go the distance. That's our growth. Next, you need a full tank of gas, and you definitely need a plan so you don't run out in the middle of nowhere. That is sustainability. And finally, you gotta have a map so you can pick the best roads and avoid those dead ends. That's our economic decision making. See? Simple.
All right, first things first, we gotta pack our supplies. This is all about getting the balance right between moving forward fast and making sure we have enough fuel to actually finish the journey.
So what's the deal with growth anyway? Well, in the simplest terms, it's about a country making more stuff and offering more services. Let's think about a small-town bakery. If that baker gets a new oven and starts selling 1,500 loaves of bread a day instead of 1,000, that's growth. The baker might hire an assistant, more money starts moving through the town, and just like that, our road trip car is revved up and ready to go far.
But what good is a fast car if it runs out of gas? That's exactly where sustainability comes in. It's this super important idea of making sure that as we're zooming ahead today, we don't burn through all the resources, all the fuel, the clean air, the fresh water that people are going to need for their road trips tomorrow.
You know, a great way to think about sustainability is like a sturdy, three-legged stool. You've got the environmental leg, that's about keeping our planet healthy. Then you have the social leg, making sure people are treated fairly and have safe communities. And finally, the economic leg, which is all about building strong businesses that are meant to last. If any one of those legs gets wobbly, the whole stool is going to tip over.
Okay, we've got our car and we understand our fuel supply. Now it's time to pull out the map. This is where we talk about economic decision-making, the tool that helps us navigate the tricky route between our need for speed, for growth, and our need for fuel, for sustainability.
And this, right here, is the heart of it all. Every single choice we make, from what we buy for lunch to what a city decides to build, has a consequence. There's always a trade-off. If you choose to go down one road, it means you can't go down another. So the big question is, how do we choose wisely? This slide shows that dilemma perfectly. Just imagine your town has a choice: build a big new shopping mall or create a new park. The mall? Well, that means short-term growth for sure. More jobs, more money for the town, but it comes with more pollution and less nature. The park, on the other hand, gives you long-term sustainability, clean air, a place for the community to hang out, but probably fewer jobs right away. See? There's no single right answer. It's a trade-off you have to weigh carefully.
Luckily, we're not flying blind here. We have tools that can help. Think of them like features on your car's GPS. You've got cost-benefit analysis, which is just asking, does the good stuff outweigh the bad stuff? Then there's opportunity cost. What are you giving up by making this choice? And my favorite, long-term thinking. That's like zooming out on the map to see the whole journey, not just the next turn.
Okay, enough with the theory. Let's look at some postcards from people who've already been on this journey. These are real-world stories about communities and individuals who found that sweet spot between growth and sustainability.
So our first postcard comes from this small coastal town. And get this, they were spending $200,000 every single year on a dirty old diesel generator. I mean, sure, it kept the lights on, but it was also polluting their air. That's a huge price to pay, both in cash and for their health.
So, they pulled out their decision-making GPS and did a cost-benefit analysis. Now, yeah, the solar panels cost a lot of money up front, but look at the long term. After just 5 years, they'd actually save $250,000. And on top of that, they got clean air and even created new local jobs. By thinking long-term, the sustainable choice was actually the best economic choice too. Win-win.
Now, this next postcard is awesome because it shows you don't have to be a town council to make a huge difference. This one's about Emma, a high school sophomore who just saw a problem and decided to do something. This is where personal growth really meets community impact.
And just look at these results. Her recycling club cut the school's waste by 40%. 40%! And it saved the school $2,000 in trash fees. I mean, come on. That's a perfect small-scale example of the environmental, social, and economic pillars all working together.
Okay, so we've seen how towns and students can make a real difference. Now, it's your turn. Because you are in the driver's seat of your own life, and your choices, big and small, are all part of this massive road trip we're on.
Just think about your day-to-day life. Looking for a part-time job? If you work at a local shop, you're helping your own community thrive. Need a new phone? Choosing a refurbished one grows your savings and cuts down on electronic waste. Even a school project is a chance to grow your knowledge by researching something cool like renewable energy. Every choice is a chance to balance your own growth with a sustainable future.
And here's a super practical tool you can start using literally today. A 5-step checklist for making smart choices. Figure out your goal, list your options, weigh the good and the bad, think about the long term, and then make your choice. It's a simple little habit that can lead to some really powerful results.
Now, of course, your choices are part of a much bigger picture. It's not all on our shoulders. To really build a sustainable future, we also need that big picture thinking. We need companies to invest in green technology, we need schools to teach these critical thinking skills, and we need governments to create policies that actually reward businesses for doing the right thing.
So, as we're pulling into the final destination of our road trip today, let's just boil it all down. It's all about finding that sweet spot, that balance between what's good for us today and what's good for the world tomorrow. And you can use these 3 simple questions as your compass. Will this help us grow? Will it keep our planet healthy for the future? And are we really thinking through the pros and cons?
Because ultimately, that's what it comes down to. Every decision you make, every choice is a building block. And together, all of our blocks are creating the world we're all going to live in. They're shaping our economy, our planet, and our neighborhoods. So the final question is a simple one, but it's probably the most important one of all. What will you choose to build?